Welcome to the Garden Tomb in Jerusalem. My name is Peter and I'm serving here with my wife alongside of the other community team who are helping to look after this very special place at a very unusual time. Today I want to share something about my passion for running that I found and that I've been able to fulfill in this garden. This morning at about 6:30 our intrepid cameraman Cesar was out filming me as I was enjoying a 5k run in the garden. The youngest member of our team, Mariah, is only 3 years old, and she helped me to measure the extent of the track around the path around the outside of the garden. It's almost exactly 200 metres. So if you take 5 times around the garden, you get 1 kilometre, 25 times around the garden, and that's a 5k. And so that's what I've been enjoying doing 2 or 3 times a week. Running is a wonderful exercise. It's very good for you cardiovascularly, if that's such a word, but it's very good for your heart. And you know, Paul in 1 Corinthians 3:16, he said, "Don't you know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit?" So if my body is a temple, then I think I have some kind of a duty to look after that temple, to maintain it, to keep it clean and tidy, and to keep it fit. You know, an active body is a healthy body. But I haven't always run. In fact, as somebody with only 2% vision, I never really considered that running was an option for me. In fact, I found it hard enough just getting around at a walking pace, and if anybody was to look at my bones after I die, they would see the scars that I have to prove that. But a friend of mine, a colleague, in 2016 I began 2 journeys. One of them was that is when I first came here for my trial with my wife to be a guide at the Garden Tomb. But I also started my adventure with running. A colleague who I worked with asked me whether I'd ever thought of running. She'd been watching the Paralympics and was quite impressed with the blind runners and their guides and how that worked. And we had a little running club that started at the place I worked at. Most of the runners there were half my age. But you know, sometimes you just have to try something new, and so I did. There's something called the running bug, and some people get it. It's just the joy of running. But for me it was a little bit special because, as you saw at the very start of this video, normally I walk around with a white cane. It's a symbol cane. It's there to tell people that I don't see very well, and I use it here when I'm guiding. And in fact, my favourite phrase to just break the ice with groups is, my physical vision is not very clear, but my spiritual vision is very clear. I know exactly where I'm going to go when I die. And so that just helps them know where I'm coming from. And I get a massive amount of feedback from the group as well, in the way that they respond to that as to where they are in their spiritual journey. And that's feedback that I can't get from looking at them. So on the floor of my office back in 2016, I found this nylon strap. It's used to hold computer equipment under desks. It actually works as a brilliant tether. So I hold one end and the guide will hold the other end, and then we run side by side, and you just have that little connection there. They can pull you out of the way of danger. And for me it was a wonderful liberation to actually be moving without a white stick. In fact, in that case, a white stick would actually be quite dangerous for you because you could get it snagged in things. So I had this liberation of running. Coming here and being under some kind of a lockdown with no volunteers and no possibility to go outside, it was actually Jürgen who suggested, why don't you try running around the outside of the garden? You know that garden, you guide people around it, you know it well enough. And that's true, I know it really well. I know every sort of step of it. And so I started running around the garden. It's been really good. It's meant I've been able to continue one of my passions, something which I discovered 4 years ago, along with the other journey that brought me here to this very special place. So I thought I'd share that. If you've never thought of running and you want to start something to get fit, you can join groups around the world. Actually, they have running clubs. It's a great way to get fit. But what I'd say to you is this: if you haven't tried something, you don't know whether you like it. And so the only way to find out is to try it. And in terms of exercise, if you try it and you don't like it, don't persevere with it. There's no point, because you'll just give up in the end. What you need to do is find something that you really enjoy doing. And I'll leave you with this from Paul. He says, don't you know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit?